Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Welcome to my channel. My name is Brenda Campbell. I'm an artist and a certified Zentangle teacher, and today is Mindful Monday. In today's video, I will be guiding you through the 8 steps of the Zentangle method of drawing, and hopefully it will give you a little bit of calm for the day and a little bit of zen. And just time for yourself, time to bring yourself into the moment and add a little mindfulness to your routine. So today I'm going to jump right in. Our first step in the Zentangle method is gratitude and appreciation. And I like to guide you through a short breathing exercise that will kind of get you ready to pick up your pen and start to draw. So take in a couple of deep breaths, starting with the first one and lifting yourself up tall as you breathe in. And exhale slowly and fully. And another breath in. And exhale. And just relax everything as you do. One more big breath in. And out. And let your shoulders drop. And relax your cheeks. And now just let your breathing fall into its natural rhythm. And try to clear your mind. Thoughts will come in, that's natural. Just notice them and then let them go. And breathe. Now take a moment and think about something that you're grateful for. And when you find it, just hold on to it. Keep it in your thoughts and feel how that feels. What does gratitude feel like? Now hold on to that feeling and bring that into your practice today. So if you reach a point where you just need a break, stop, take a breath, and then start again. And that is all there is to step 1, gratitude and appreciation. Now step 2, we're going to use our pencils and we're going to put a dot in each of the 4 corners of our tile or your paper or the square you've drawn on your paper, however you choose to practice along. That was step 3, adding a border by connecting the 4 dots. And step 4 is a string. Now a string is simply a line or a series of lines that break up the space in the center and allow us to have a place to put our tangles or our patterns. So today is going to be a fairly simple string. I'm going to draw a large circle inside. And then I'm going to draw a wavy line across on the diagonal. And it's not terribly wavy, but that's okay. It's not straight, and that was what I was going for. So We're done with step 4. Now we can pick up our pens and move on to step 5. Step 5 is the patterns. I'm going to be using a Micron PN pen today that has a plastic nib, which is a little safer for my heavy hand, but today I'm just feeling like using a little wider of a nib. Now the first pattern that we're going to draw is icso, and we are going to draw that. You can pick a side and draw it in either side. I'm going to go ahead and draw it in the top left corner as I drew my diagonal line. Now icso starts with a single line, and you can, I'm going to draw mine with lots of curls and waves. And there's mine. So I now have several additional spaces inside this half of my circle, and that's where we're going to finish with icso. Now, icso is just a series of lines that go into each of these spaces. So I'm going to start with this space up here, and I am just going to draw a curved line from one side to the other. And then I'm going to draw an aura to that line. I turned my tile because I want my line that I'm looking at to aura to be on the left as I draw, because I'm right-handed. And that way I can actually see it. Because if I draw it the other way, like I started, my pen actually is in my way as I draw it. I can't see the line clearly. So something to think about as you develop your own techniques and your practice. So I'm going to go ahead and just continue to draw lines. Now, one of the things about icso that I like is that we are going to add orbs, or black orbs in this case, to our composition, I'll say. And I'm going to put one right here in between these two spaces. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want that space to be closed off. And I just turned this one large space into two smaller spaces. And I think that's going to work better for the aura lines. I'm going to come over here and do something similar. I'm going to put it right. I'm going to make a big one and put it right here. And then I'm going to see if there's any other obvious spaces, and there really isn't, except for maybe right here. I'll draw another orb right here. And that'll be a starting point for us. Now, as we choose which section we're drawing and which way we want our lines to go, I'd like to remember that we want some contrast. So if the lines are all going the same direction, then it's kind of hard to tell what spaces you have. So these lines go this way. I'm going to go the opposite way in this next section. You can see my lines are not perfect. That's okay. And then this section, I want them to be a different direction as well. And then we'll do this side. making the contrast by having my lines curve the opposite direction in this space. That's another way we can do that. It's very small sections there, but that's okay. And then we'll go this way with these lines. And I'm just going into each one of the spaces that I drew and making my decisions right there as to what direction to draw my aura lines. And I'll continue to do that until I fill the space. Okay, I only have one little space left. Okay, so now I want to look at what I've drawn and decide where else I might want to add some black orbs. So I'm thinking there's lots of opportunities here, and I'm going to go ahead and start right here. And I'm just drawing right on top of the lines that I drew. So one here, and then another one next to it, just to kind of mix it up. And how about one here? enough? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Nope, I need one more. Let's put it down here. Okay, so there is my isocore. I've got this whole section here filled with that. Now, I like a lot of contrast, as you may know if you've been watching my videos. So we're going to use lines on this side, but instead of making them curved like we have in our isocore pattern, we're going to make them straight. So this time we are going to draw the tangle Munchin. Now, I think I've been kind of on a Munchin roll and have been using it a bit, which is not a problem. But Munchin, as you remember, starts with a bunch of dots for our triangles. Munchin is lots of triangles. And I want my triangles to kind of go to the edge of my circle. So I'm trying to make sure I've got some points on the line of my circle. But that looks like a good amount of dots for my Munchin. So I'm going to go ahead and begin. And I'm going to just connect the dots to create circles. That's how I'm going to begin. Now when I come to the edge where it meets my isocore, I want the triangles to go kind of underneath the isocore. So okay, so you'll notice that the triangles on the edges have a curved side, and that's the perimeter of my circle. But that's okay. So I am going to go ahead and start. You can start anywhere. I'm going to start here just because. Now I'm not going to draw too many lines in each one of these. In fact, let's just keep it to 3 unless we end up with one that's really large. And you notice that as I go around, I start at the tip, and you can start at the bottom if you prefer. But the object is, once we have a base, the wide part of our Munchin is what I call the base. Then we want the adjacent triangles to do the opposite. So we want our lines in this one to go this way. And we want our lines in this one to go this way. So the next one you draw, the new base is actually the side of the one next to it. Now you inevitably end up with empty triangles because you can't really draw one in here that's going to have, that's going to look right. You know, I'm going to try it. I guess it works because it's upside down from this one next to it. Okay, but you may end up with blank triangles. I always do. And of course you can make them yourself if you choose to. You don't have to wait for the pattern to give it to you. That's usually what I do though. This one looked a little bigger. This one I'm going to leave open. And this one will be open, as will that one. So I still have some that will be blank. So it's okay. Okay, well, it looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 open spaces. That's okay. What I like to do with the open spaces, I used to just leave them open. But recently, I have decided that it would be kind of fun if I made them into fragments. So I'm going to draw a fragment into each of these open spaces that puts like a bales type seed shape, rice shape on the edges of each of the open triangles. I'll start with that. Okay, and then I'm going to draw, in order to tie these two sections together, I'm going to draw black orbs to fill the centers of each of these fragments. Have I got them all? I think so. Six, yeah, I thought there were 6 of them. Okay, so we are done with our tangles because I'm only going to draw these 2 tangles. So we can put our pens away and pick our pencils back up. And we're going to begin step 6, which is our shading. Now, we're going to start with icso because that's where we started with our patterns. And I'm just going to put some graphite on each of the lines, each of these spaces. Kind of, I'm going around the perimeter here. I want to give it some dimension. That's kind of what I'm looking to do here. So just putting graphite on the lines that we drew initially. Okay, now I'm going to pick up my tortillon and I'm going to blend these out. And you notice as I'm blending, I'm kind of blending on both sides of the line. And that, of course, adds to the illusion that the line is the deepest point. And that's really what we want, so yes. I think that's pretty good. I think we've got some nice contrast in there. We've got some light spaces and we've got some shadowed darker spaces. So I think I've blended everything out pretty well. So that is icso. Now I'm going to pick my pencil back up and we're going to shade Munchin. Now, if you remember in the way my mind works, the bottom of the triangle is the one where all the lines come out separate, not the point. The point is the top. So the bottom is the base, and we are going to put a line of graphite inside each triangle right next to the base. And I'm trying not to overdo it because there are a lot of triangles, so it would be easy to have too many. or too much graphite, I mean. Okay, so now we're going to pick up our tortillones and we are going to blend out the graphite in the base of each triangle. We'll kind of blend it up as we go. Let's see, I like to turn my tile when I do that. So that my tortillon point is right where the graphite meets the next line. When I'm blending my graphite with my tortillon, I'm trying to use a very light touch. They say just tickle the graphite with your tortillon. So I notice if I blend with too hard or too heavy of a hand, if I press too hard, too much pressure, I tend to like rub off the ink, rub off the paper where the ink is, and then I'll have to go back over it with my pen, which I can do, but it's just a little better if we can just try to not overdo it to begin. That's my challenge. I'm always working on that, but it's a practice. We get to try different things and practice the things we like and work on those things we need to work on. It's all up to us because it's our practice. My turntable is making noises sometimes when I turn it, and I apologize for that. I'll have to see if I can do something about that. Okay, I think I have all my munching done. What I don't have done, though, is any of the fragments that I did. So I guess I'll begin with these ones on the edge by just putting a little bit of graphite there. Now I think I'm going to put graphite in the centers around our black orbs. And I'm not adding graphite, I'm just using what I have on my tortillon, blending that out. And that just gives us another little bit of contrast between the whiter outsides of, here, let me put these two fragments meet, so a little bit of graphite on that line. But I think that's good. Well, my circle's not perfectly round, but you know what? No one's really is. I'm okay with it, you know me. But we're done with step 6, which is the shading. We are now moving on to step 7, which is to initial and sign our artwork, our tile. Now I'm going to use my chop on the front instead of an initial, and I'm kind of looking at it from every direction, trying to decide if there's a space for my chop that looks better than another. I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and put my chop in this bottom right corner here. Then I'm going to flip it over and sign my name. Now, you can date it if you like. I am going to put the names of what we've drawn today. Icso was the first one, and Munchin was the second one. So we finished step 7, signing and initialing. And now step 8 is simply to sit back and admire and appreciate what we've done. So I wish it were a little more circular. I feel like it is really kind of goofy circle shape, but you know what? It's not whether you like it or not. I do enjoy the contrast between the curvy lines and the straight lines. I enjoy the fact that there are black pearls that kind of tie it all together. And I love that the shading really gives it some dimension. So on that note, I'm going to say goodbye for now and hope to see you back here in my next video. So until then, be you and be happy.